What's up with it? Y'all already know what it is. Everything boxing. And today, we talking about Bud Terence Crawford making Timothy Bradley bow down, right? Bow down and apologize on national TV. Before we get into this next video, make sure that you smash on my like button and make sure that you sub to the channel if you're not already a sub to the channel. Smash on the like and sub to the channel. So recently, in an interview that Terence Crawford did on ESPN, we had Timothy Bradley, we had Andre Ward, and we had the rest of the dudes on the panel. So I'm looking at the interview and I know that Timothy Bradley been talking big stuff about Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter in their upcoming fight. And Timothy Bradley, he's had some slick stuff to say about Terence Crawford. When him and Terence Crawford, I thought they were supposed to be, I thought they were supposed to be cool. I thought they were supposed to be tight. So I'm going to be honest, it surprised me when I heard the things that Timothy Bradley had been saying about Terence Crawford as of recent. So I'm looking at this interview and I see Timothy Bradley on the panel, and then of course Terence Crawford. And I'm looking at Terence Crawford's demeanor and I'm looking at his face. And he got that mug on his face like, hey, I slapped the dog piss out of you, And so I think it was Andre Ward or whoever was interviewing, Terence Crawford first. So I'm just waiting for Timothy Bradley time to come up. So Timothy Bradley time come up and I'm like, okay, is he going to stand on his square? He been talking a lot of stuff about Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter and talking about, and we'll get into what he was saying in a little bit. But I'm looking at the interview and I'm like, okay, is he going to really bite down on what he said, triple down and stick to his words now that Bud is in front of him? So Timothy Bradley, as soon as he, grabbed the microphone to interview Terence Crawford, here he go. Hey, Terence, I know you heard some of the things that I've been saying, as of recent, and I just speak from the heart, and so man, I just wanted to say, man, I was wrong, and I apologize. And Bud's sitting there looking at him like, yeah, you better apologize. See, because the whole energy, you could tell the way that Bud was looking when he was doing the interview. He was just waiting to see what Tim Bradley was going to say. He was just waiting for Tim Bradley, and he had that demeanor on his face. And you could tell, man, Tim Bradley, he pretty much bitched up. You dig what I'm saying? If you look at the look on Tim Bradley's face when it was his turn to talk to Terence Crawford, like he pumped up. In that aura that Terence Crawford brought, just the same aura that he bring in the ring is that dog. That's why I tell y'all all the time that a lot of these firefights that Bud Crawford get in, he win because he just got more dog than the rest of these dudes. He don't really fight and move his legs and try to move around the ring like that. He just, he got in his head like, hey, I got more dog than all of these niggas. I'm finna dog you out. You're gonna fold and I'm gonna be standing. And that's what happened when you seen him in the Aegis fight. Aegis tried to get in the dog fight with him, but he failed. He folded. He didn't have that dog in him like Bud did. You dig? So that's what happened with Timothy Bradley on this interview. Tim saying that Bud had the demeanor on his face like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up when I see you. That face. He wasn't smiling and was none of that. So Tim Bradley, he got shook. Tim Bradley say a whole bunch of stuff about a whole bunch of people. Why when you get Bud Crawford in your face, in your grill, right? That now they weren't face to face. They was doing the interview via Skype or whatever. But still, that you was going to have to see this man soon, and you folded when the pressure came on. And some of the things that he was saying, he was talking about, oh, nobody knows Terence Crawford and nobody knows Shawn Porter. Like, basically, shitting on the upcoming fight that they got. like, oh, who's gonna pay for this? Who's gonna watch it? Nobody knows him, you know. And I'm looking at the whole thing when he's saying it, and I'm like, how is Tim Bradley sitting up here talking about that don't nobody know Terence Crawford? First of all, Tim Bradley, we all know that Tim Bradley is a former fighter, right? He's retired. When Tim Bradley was at the peak of his career, he wasn't at the level that Terence Crawford is. Nobody knew who Tim Bradley was unless you was a diehard boxing fan. Nobody knew who he was unless you was a diehard boxing fan. The only way that you knew Tim Bradley, who he was, if you weren't a diehard boxing fan, is because you seen him basically lose 3 times to Manny Pacquiao and get a robbery decision over Manny Pacquiao. Other than that, ain't nobody know who the fuck Tim Bradley was. So me saying that to say this is, how can you say that nobody knows who Terence Crawford is when Terence Crawford is a much bigger name than you ever were in your entire career? Let's just keep it 100. Because y'all can say what you want, but one thing I do is I keep it $150 all the way around the board, all the time when I'm talking this boxing stuff. And Tim Bradley, let's keep it real. You were never, ever, at no point in your career as big as Terence Crawford is now. You know, so I mean, Terence Crawford is a big name in boxing. His pay-per-view numbers don't translate to that right now. We're gonna see how him and Shawn Porter pay-per-view numbers do. But besides the fact, Terence Crawford is a much bigger name than you ever were, Tim Bradley. So how are you gonna speak and say that nobody knows Terence Crawford when you were never on his level and you was on pay-per-view? So you talking bad about him and Shawn Porter about to be on pay-per-view and whatnot, but you was on pay-per-view and you didn't have a bigger name than Terence Crawford or Shawn Porter. Your name wasn't even as big as Shawn Porter or Terence Crawford. So I mean, like, you say all of this stuff, right? But you forget that you was a boxer not too long ago. You was a fighter yourself. So, you know, I mean, what I wanted to see you do is stand on your square. You said the shit that you said, you know, and not thinking, right? You knew you was gonna have to see Terence Crawford one way or another. But I think when you get to running off at the mouth, you're not thinking about these things. So either way, you's a fighter. So stand on your word. When you got on that camera, you should have just been like, hey, Terence, you know, blah, 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 and asked him what you had to ask him, right? If he asked you about the things that you had said, then you answer the question, but you stand on your square. It ain't no, nah, you know, once he right there live and y'all face to face on camera, nah, you want to, you know what I'm saying? You want to fold up and apologize, right? Because you be talking a lot of shit, Tim Bradley, just like my man AB said. He was like, yeah, man, you's a bitch ass nigga. Yeah, you be talking a lot of shit. Yeah, you do, but you got to stand on your square, because in the profession that you have, just like you said, it's your job to give certain opinions. But see, the thing is, it's not your job to be shitting on they fight. It is not your job to be downplaying the Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter fight, saying that nobody knows them, who's no. That's not your job. Your job is to get in front of that camera, right? Commentate on the fights and break down the fights when you on the State of Boxing show or whatever show that you on. Now, if you want to shit on the fight and do all that other stuff, well, then you get you a podcast, you get on YouTube or whatever, and then you say what you want to say. But just like me, if I say something, I'm going to stand on my square, whether I'm in front of that person or not. If you say something, that is your opinion. But see, you're getting out of the realm of your job. You got to realize what your job is. You work for ESPN. Terence Crawford is a fighter on ESPN. Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter are fighting on ESPN. So you don't go and shit on the fight. You dig what I'm saying? You knew what you were saying when you said it. You felt that way. I don't know why you felt that way, because in the past, you've tried to make it like, oh, you know, Terence Crawford is this and Terence Crawford is that, and Errol Spence is running from Terence Crawford. But now you want to flip your words, and then you go back after saying that Errol Spence is running from Terence Crawford and ducking Terence Crawford. That's the reason the fight is not being made, right? Because it's Errol Spence. Now you want to flip your words and say, oh, well, this fight ain't gonna sell because don't nobody know who Terence Crawford is. Nobody knows these guys. Well, stick to your shit that you said, man. But the dude folded up. Hey, Terence, you know, man, I know you probably heard some of the things that you know, that I've been saying, and you know, man, I just gotta say, man, you know, I have a job to do, you know, and you know, man, I'm sorry, Terence, you know, I apologize, man, I shouldn't have did that, man. Yeah, man, stick to your square. But I was laughing because Terence Crawford, man, the demeanor the dog he had in his face, that demeanor he had on his face was like, he had that look, man, like, yeah, I'll beat your ass just like I used to do in sparring. And let's not forget how Tim Bradley was at the peak of his career and Terence Crawford was an up-and-coming fighter, and they was sparring because Tim Bradley was looking at Terence Crawford like, man, put him in the ring. Put the young buck in the ring and I'm going to put hands on him. And yeah, Terence Crawford beat the dog shit out of you. So when you was apologizing, that dog beating that you got in sparring, you know what I'm saying, them beatdowns that you got in sparring, Tim, you was thinking of that shit in the back of your head. Like Tim Bradley was thinking of that shit in the back. Like, man, I'm gonna have to commentate this man fight during fight week. I might have to be face to face with him, and them beatdowns was flashing in your head, Tim. Yeah. Hey, you know, Tim, I'm sorry. Hey, y'all gotta see the look on Terence Crawford face when Tim Bradley got to apologizing. Let me see. Look at how Bud looking at this nigga though. Look how Bud looking at this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? He grinching his teeth like, yeah, nigga, I'll beat the shit out you. Now look at Tim Bradley down here trying to explain himself and shit. Look at Terence Bradley. He trying to explain himself. Like, man, just stall me out. Stall me out, Terence. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Terence told him, bow down when I come to your town. Bow down. Hey, Terence made him bow down. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube style. Bow down. He made him bow down. That's exactly what he did. Made him bow down. Everybody seen it. Here it go. This is what Terence Crawford told Terence Bradley.
Rewind my part, fool, and bow down when I come to your town. Bow down when I'm west with bands. Bow down, cause I ain't a hater like you.
Hey, he told him bow down. You know what I'm saying? He had that look on his face. Sometimes you ain't even gotta say nothing. You just give him that look. Like, yeah, you better apologize. Apologize, punk. Hey, but anyway, you know, let me know what y'all think about this. Leave a comment in the comment section. Y'all already know. Sub to the channel and hit my like button. And until next time, y'all already know what it is. There you go, talking that boxing again. And I'm gone.